Welcome to the new episode of IJBEL Studio. So in this episode, we have invited two talented young event professionals, Jerome and Michelle, to share their views on the landscape of business events Sarawak. Both of them are active committee members of the Junior Chamber International, JCI, and they're also involved in the planning and hosting of the upcoming Borneo Sustainable Goals Summit 2023, which will be held from 18 to 19 March this year. So we are going to hear about their experience and lesson learned from planning this big event. Now this is also going to be an interesting episode because these two belong to the Gen Y. So today we could learn about what the youth of today or the leaders of tomorrow think of business event landscape. Now to start with, perhaps Jerome and Michelle, you can briefly introduce yourself. Perhaps you can cover your roles in JCI and your roles as well in the Borneo Sustainable Goals Summit.
Hi guys, my name is Jaren and I'm from JCI Riam and I'm the Vice President of JCI Riam. I am in charge of marketing for this upcoming Borneo SDG event.
Okay, hi guys, my name is Michelle and I'm actually secretary for JCI MIRI this year and I'm also the organizing chair for this Sustainable Development Goals Summit. Okay.
Right. So, welcome again, two of you, to our studio today. So, my first question to you. So, what do business event actually mean to you? Because I remember talking to an event professional before, and he mentioned a concern that he sees lots and lots of youngsters these days. They're not very interested in pursuing an event-related courses, for example. So there is a worry that they might not have enough, employees in the future. So as a youth, what do you actually see? How do you actually view this industry? And do you actually see a future in business event?
For my perspective, yes, I definitely see a future in this industry. Why? Because in our daily lives, we actually have a lot of events occur. For example, birthday celebrations, for example, like wedding, and even like for corporates or NGOs that actually have a opening or closing ceremony, product launching. All of these are actually involved with related with events management, but just whether we're going to do it professionally or even we are going to do it more organizedly. So all of these are actually the demands, and of course there is opportunities here.
Specifically for MIRI, I also see that with the upcoming conference exhibition area that they're going to build on 2025, I think it's going to boom in MIRI, specifically for conferences, events, and big events.
Okay. So we mentioned about your roles in hosting the upcoming Sustainable Goals Summit. So do you guys mind sharing your experience in planning and hosting this big event? Maybe you can talk to us about your how do you actually first come across the idea of hosting this topic, as well as some bittersweet moment when hosting the event.
Okay. As an OC, how did the idea of SDG Summit come across into my mind? So first of all, because JCI is actually one of the partnership with United Nations, so we actually very aligned with United Nations on regarding the 17 development goals. All this while we're actually doing a lot of related events regarding this. So but they're more focused on on other zone, other area. So when come to MIRI, I'm thinking that why don't we just organize this kind of event in MIRI to share to create awareness and also to let people know more about SDG, because we also think that SDG is actually a global perspective that we want to make sure that everyone have this kind of perspective, this kind of view, so that they know about the 17 development goals. Okay, so Jerome, do you have anything to share regarding the SDG?
I think following up on the global perspective, I was before JCI, I always thought that JCI is only just collecting rubbish and whatnot, but actually it is much more than that, and it comes from the event organizers to tell Mirians what we want to portray to them.
Yes.
And I think right now our focus is to tell our peers and people from Sarawak that MIRI is JCI MIRI and JCI in general, it's not just recycle. It's also building leaders of tomorrow that have this global perspective.
Okay. So, from my understanding, even though two of you, have lots of roles in JCI as well as have experience hosting event, to host such a big scale event, perhaps this is your first time. So, what are the challenges that you have faced?
Okay, this is not my first time hosting an event, but hosting such an big event is definitely the first time, and also the first time we're getting the funds from Business Events Sarawak, the BES. So yeah, I would like to explain or elaborate more on how do we start with the planning. So first of all, of course, you have to have your objective. You have to very firm with what kind of events and what message that you want to deliver to the participants. So this is the very first thing that you have to be sure. So after that, you have to form your committee members, because in JCI we actually are NGO, so meaning that all of our committee members is volunteer based. For your information, we actually have 38 volunteers. So which means that these 38 members, they are actually very young, active citizens that they actually wanted to contribute to the society. So after from the committee members, then we're starting to find collaborations partner, because since we want to make the event big and we cannot do it ourselves, so we have to find some collaborations partner. So, and also the most important thing is the sponsorship. Without fund, then how are we going to organize an event, right? So after finding the collaborations with we actually collaborate with Muri City Council, okay, in order to get them to support our event, to get the endorsement from Muri City Council. And luckily, yes, we did that. And also through the MBAC, we actually know about Business Events Sarawak, BES. So this is the first time that I actually encounter with them. So yeah, we actually do get the support. We try to apply the funding process from them. And of course, in the middle, we do have some hiccups that during the funding process. I'm not sure whether I can share, but yeah, one of the problems that we actually encounter is as we all know that this event we actually targeted to do it last year during December, but we actually postponed the event into January into March this year 2023, because we actually have some events that clash with other JCI chapter. They also applied for the funds and they approved for the fund already last year. So actually they don't want to like double, because PE, they have a very good initiative that they want to give the chance to more organizations. Yeah, so they don't want to have similar organizations doing the similar events in the same year. Yeah, so this is one of the problems that we actually encounter, and we actually postpone our events to 2023. Yes.
So postponing the event and all the things that Michelle talked about, there are all hiccups that we face, and I think when we organize smaller event, the hiccups is still there, but it's on a smaller scale. So whenever something goes wrong, because the team is 30 plus people, and then the event size is I think we're aiming for 600 people, so everything is multiplied. So it's not like 1-to-1, but it's like, oh, we need to change something, we need to hold an official meeting, and then everything needs to change. So it's a very I think it's a very good experience for us for this time.
Yeah, for the fund for the application for BE process, right, we started since July, I remember. July or
July.
August. Yeah,
July last
yes,
year?
last year July. So after the submissions, right, we actually encounter a lot of questions. For example, like, do MIRI can really host a 600 events, that because we, due to the lack of accommodations and everything, and yeah, and all of these questions is about the events that we need to face. Yeah, so after the applications, we actually get the approval like last few weeks, like the beginning of February. And also you have to remember that Malaysia got a lot of holidays, so we need to put this into our considerations also when we trying to get some response, right? Yeah, because they're actually like having their meeting after the Chinese New Year, so which is like the very first beginning of February. Yeah, so like but during this time, do we really like I'll just sit there and do nothing? No, we actually do a lot of planning and process. We're actually still finding our speakers, and we're still finding a lot of other sponsorships that can support to our events. And also we try to do a lot of promoting So you always need to have a plan B. So my bad I mean like the worst scenario that I'm thinking that if let's say BE haven't given me an approval before when, then I need to postpone again on my event. But luckily yes, I get the approval. Yes, just right around the corner.
So the lesson learned here really is that you really have to be prepared for everything, even
Yes.
if when it really have arrived at the date of your event, you haven't get the money, but things have to go on. So you have to have a plan in mind.
Exactly, and when we mentioned BE, right, it's not like we didn't apply for any other sponsorship. We are trying to get corporate sponsors, all the other government sponsors also, but BE is by far the easiest current to apply, and it still takes time. So the rest we're like mingling, trying to get them also.
So, knowing all the process already, what will be the thing that you would want to do differently the next time when you apply for your next
Definitely, I
sponsorship?
would like to make it like earlier again, because actually I want to share that I have an intention to bid our JCI national project like national conventions. So I actually bring out this topic to the business event person in charge as also, and they also advised me to like apply 1 year ahead. Yeah, for such a big event. Example like we're actually targeting for the the national convention. If let's say I successfully bid, it's around 1,000 people. Yes, so this kind of big events and even like SDG, this kind of scale, we have to plan like 1 year ahead. Yeah,
So plan early.
yeah, plan early.
What about other tips, like for example, making it to make sure it fulfill with the government plan, perhaps?
So I think another tip for us to share is we should follow what the Sarawak government wants, because they do provide their guidelines in terms of like the post-COVID development strategy 2030, and all of them inside is already telling what Sarawak see as the future of Sarawak. And as long as we are following with what the Sarawak government needs, the BE application process will be a lot easier.
Okay, so definitely hosting this event is not an easy job, I'll say. So how do you actually see this conference is going to benefit you, perhaps as a JCI member, in term of your passive benefits and so forth?
Okay, you mean this events definitely will benefit a lot of things. I mean in all aspect. For example, like the members that actually participate, they can really learn a lot. Okay, they can also like get in touch with different people. They have the different connections with different parties. Yeah, so I think these all of these are very valuable knowledge for us that we might not able to be experienced in other kind of industry. Okay, and also another thing is JCI actually like our vision is to build leaderships, okay, for the future, and also to ensure the young active citizens. So when we talking about organizing an event, so this event has to be impactful one. Okay, at least we have to impact the society. Okay, so I think all of this is one of the benefits for organizing such an event.
I think when planning the event, the one thing that is always in our mind is, how does this event impact or change people in Sarawak?
Yes.
So a few categories that you can categorize is like our JCI members, the future leaders like the schools and people coming, and people from MIRI, and how does the tourism sector will be impacted. Like for example, when we are planning this event, we specifically say, oh, students, very cheap, you come in, because we want them to feel and experience what the world is facing.
So our events will actually target a lot of sectors of people. For example, like students. Why students? Because we think that students is one of the most important, young generations that actually they are our future leaders. And also we think that this kind of education we should start from young. So we actually target not only for university students but also middle school students. Okay. So besides that, we also targeted on those SMEs, those business corporates. Yeah, because we hope that they can, through the events, they can know that this is a global future trending, so that they can implement all of the goals in their business as well.
Yeah. So your target audience, it seems like it includes quite a lot of people. I mean,
Yes.
different group of people of different backgrounds. So how did you actually target them in terms of your marketing strategy? Perhaps you can share with us a little bit on how do you actually reach out to this group of people?
So actually, these events we not only targeting on Sarawakians but also non-Sarawakian and even our international delegates. This is also one of the criteria from Business Event Sarawak for your information. So we actually target like 70% from non-Sarawakian. Okay, for example like West Malaysia, Sabahan, or even like our neighbor country Bruneian. So the reasons that we are targeting them also is because we want to have share some kind of knowledge sharing. Because in West Malaysia there is a lot of companies and also NGOs that they're doing the SDG things in their organizations. We even have a sustainable development awards that organized by JCI in order to reward the organizations and also the corporates. But in Sarawak, not much people know about this kind of awards, right? Yeah, so they are also one of our exhibitors in during the event. So how are we reaching them? JCI is a good platform that we actually can through JCI to reach to them. This is one of the way, and also through the marketing purpose. Okay, through our social media and everything. But the social media, I will leave it to Jaron to share more about the marketing.
So your sharing is much more about SME. So
Yes.
Jeron will be based on
Marketing.
marketing to individuals and so forth.
So we divide the marketing plan into a few chunks. One of it is for Miri, how are we going to do this marketing plan? The other one is for Sarawak, and then for Malaysia and for international. So there's a few different chunks because like what Michelle mentioned, we need to have we have a target to hit. So on our marketing side, we need to make sure that we reach all of the we reach the target through our marketing channels. So what we did for Miri specifically is we target flights that can go into Brunei and into Miri. So for example, Singapore can fly direct to Miri, and Brunei can come over to Miri, and flights around Brunei, like people that can come over. Because if you want them to fly, let's say from China over to Singapore and from Singapore to Miri, there's like multiple flight routes, and then it's more likely that they're not going to come. So in terms of selecting people who we should target, we select it like that. And in terms of the content that we are building, so we do build out the brand and the branding side of how we want the whole Borneo SDG to be like. But we also have, I think short videos is also something that we are currently really pushing on, because short videos is right now picking up in the algorithm. So even if we don't run any ads, we do have a significant amount of viewers already. So those are the few things that we are doing, and don't just run ads to ask people if they want to buy. You also need to run ads in terms of awareness of what is SDG. So we do videos of like what is SDG and some of the goals that Miri is already implementing. So the reason we do that is because a lot of people, they cannot relate directly to SDG, but they can relate to the things that is around them. So this is especially crucial for Mirians.
When we organize the event, because we think that maybe the participants they are all like babies, they don't even know like what is SDG. So this is why when we create the Facebook page and the social media, the marketing tools, that we need to think that they don't know about SDG. So we have to start from very beginning on to educate them, and also to share the awareness, to tell them like what kind of events or what kind of projects that we actually do is regarding the SDG. So this is a very baby step that we actually start with. Yeah. So we also got a lot of shout out videos from our speakers. Okay. Yeah, because we kind to want to attract people to come because of the speakers. Yeah, they tends to be more more interested to join the event because they want to know more about the sharings of the speakers. So we do have a lot of shout out videos from different NGOs and different parties.
Okay.
Yes.
And each of the speakers, right? They have their own circle of influence. So like they have a bunch of friends, and then they bring their friends, and their friends tell their friends. So it's actually very important to have the speaker shout out.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's very useful tips for whoever who have not much experience with event hosting. And then I think this really is some very good suggestions.
This is a kind of like marketing tools that you don't need to spend a lot, but it's a very good outcome.
It's very impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think the local government has provided enough support for business event hosting in Sarawak?
Yes, definitely. Because as I know, when I hear from other chapters in other area, they actually do wish that they have this kind of support from BES. So actually BE they approve our funding around 200K something. So which is a very quite huge amount that if you want to get this kind of amount from a corporate, they might need to go for approval from HQ, and even we might need a lot of justifications on the events. But BE is actually very support enough for our local step event. So I think this is of course I think the local governments give a lot of support in this, and the staff is very helpful as well, because this is our first time in apply the fund. So they actually teach us step by step on how do we claim. Yeah, and even the staff that actually reply me 2 a.m. last night. So I think they are very supportive. I'm very touched with their effort also.
So also, like for our West Malaysia counterparts, they can only apply through Malaysia Convention Bureau, and Malaysia Convention Bureau, everyone is trying to apply. So we can obviously can also apply, but Sarawak Convention Bureau, which was BE Sarawak's last name, only Sarawakians can apply. So you narrow down the competition by a lot. So it's much easier for even like for us entry level, for us to learn and to start. And they are also very supportive. They also want to see the event being a success. They also keep following up, like what Michelle mentioned, 2 a.m. text and reply us and text us and whatnot.
They're actually like very considerate on whether they will keep on follow up that whether we can reach how many delegates by right now, and do we have any problems that encounter. They actually like will come to meet us as well. So I think this is a quite very supportive departments that actually do a lot of hard work in it. But I'm very surprised that not much people know about the business event Sarawak. That's why I wish that more young people, they can actually do this kind of events and get their support. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, in terms of local government support, we send letter to all the YBs. They said okay. We we asked for endorsement from Miri City Council. They said okay. So far it's been smooth sailing lah. The only problem is the delay a bit in terms of the funding.
Yes.
But the rest, I think everyone is very helpful.
I see. So, from my understanding, your upcoming summit is also going to be a combination of conference plus exhibition, meaning to say it's going to be 100% face-to-face.
Yes.
So, I mean, after COVID or during COVID, people have been attending events online. I mean, all of us are so comfortable with joining events online. We get to log in this event now and then back-to-back event the next minute. So, would you see such change in people's behavior or their perceptions be a challenge for hosting a face-to-face event as such?
Maybe when you talk about like this in past 1 year or 2 years, maybe yes, this is quite a challenging, because everyone is still in the pandemic and everyone is still afraid of the virus and everything. But now I think most of the people, they tend to want to get out and to know people. Yeah, like when we try to get the flights is always full right now, and even the accommodation is always full. So one of my headache thing is we want to pre-book our accommodations first, because I realized that our Miri accommodation is always full. So this is one of the good signs that people actually they already started to step out from the comfort zone and want to meet people physically.
Yeah, I think face-to-face is not really an issue.
Yeah.
The issue is too many people wanting to face-to-face. But in terms of our Miri problems, like what Michelle mentioned, the accommodation really is not enough. Whenever we host an event and we look at how the flights and the booking, the accommodation especially, so both of this is like always you need to put some here, some people need to come earlier, so a lot of problems.
And also like actually our initial plan is to host the event last year, especially during the December the flight, wow, so expensive. It costs around like 600 to 700 per person for round trip from Miri to KL. So yeah, so this is also one of the considerations when we going to host an event which is national standard lah. Yeah, when you wish people to fly in. So yeah, so I think face to face is definitely not the problem right now. And also like actually when we talk about Zoom sessions, right? Like we used to have a lot of Zoom sessions in training, but do people really sit there and listen for the whole Zoom? I'm not sure, but yes, maybe some yes, maybe some not. And also when we talk about Zoom, we very hard to get the connections between people. So one of our highlight of the event, we do have a large networking sessions with people. So people for those that invited, they actually can get a chance to join the large networking sessions, so they can have an opportunities to meet to the person they wish to talk to. Okay, they even have a chance to connect with them. So this is one of the things that I think if we're using Zoom, we very hard to do so. Yeah.
So one of our event unique selling point is also we want to have government people inside, relevant government bodies, all the agencies that is related to SDG, and the YBYBs lah, the guest of honors. So if you have something that you want to do in Sarawak and you're not from Sarawak, you get all the connections there. So it's very easy for them to get deals done and get something moving forward after the event.
Yes.
And I think to decide on whether you want to do an event face to face or on hybrid or online also is up to the topic, right? You mentioned about raising awareness. So it will be much more appropriate if you can get people to be there physically to interact with you so that it can enhance their awareness level.
Yes, because during the event, we not only we have a conference, we will have exhibitions and also some arts installations. Okay, those arts installations, all of them are related to SDG. So people have to have some kind of visualizations. Yeah, but if you choose Zoom, you're just actually like browsing a Google picture, something like that. So it won't be so impactful enough. So that's why we still prefer physical meeting. And also besides that, we also have some workshop interactions, engagements with those exhibitors. So you have to go there and then you have to engage with all the booth, and then they might give you some hands-on work, so that you can really participate in the events and also to engage with the exhibitors.
So like the five senses is very important, right? When you are looking through a Zoom, you only hear and you see, and you can only see through the screen only. But what we are doing is we are gamifying the things where you can touch it, you can experience, and then you can feel, and then you can talk to people. So it's multi-level interactions.
Yes, so when we talk about our SDG, this SDG summit that we're organizing, we actually more focus on the interactions between our participants and also our speakers. Yeah, we want to make sure that when they talk about the SDG, then they will definitely learn something through the events. But this one, by going to the SDG summit, I can ensure that they definitely will learn something. But if through Zoom, then it's very hard because it's just like an education process through.
It's like a one-way communication.
Yes, one-way communications. Like even but now the Zoom definitely is a good thing because we actually can do a lot of discussions without flying over there. Yeah, like just now I also have a Zoom sessions with other organizations also regarding the summit. But yeah, it's a one-way communication. It's like when you speak, but you're not sure whether they understand or not, and whether they reply or not, especially when they have a lot of participants. Yeah.
And perhaps there might be connection error,
Yes,
things like
yes,
that,
yes,
some
yes,
lagging
yes.
issues.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, talking about hosting an event, of course, we always emphasize on event legacies. So, what do event legacies mean to you?
Event legacies means that for me it is like when we're hosting an event or when we're doing a project or whatsoever things that how much impact that actually bring to what the participants or even the next generations. So this is what the legacies means to me.
I think at the end of the day, the event itself needs to have impact for you to start running the event. If you just run the event for the sake of running it, and then you don't have any legacies, I don't feel like the event should exist because there's a lot of carbon footprint involved, people flying here and there. So the event needs to leave behind some babies. And the babies I feel for our SDG Summit in particular is one, Miri people, do they understand what is SDG? How much of Miri people now understand? Two, how much of our young people, our young high school and Curtin students, we can bring Curtin students here, would they change because of our event? They get to meet with UN people, their whole life, they are passionate about SDG, and then it might spark something in them that they would want to pursue this as a result.
And also like this event we are not actually organizing like one time, but we also want to put it as our flagship project. Means that we're going to do it every year. Okay, so we wish that like maybe in 2030 during the United Nations goals end date, we wish to have photos of everyone and regarding the summit, and then to see the changes between them, the changes from 2023 until 2030, and then how the how the SDG goals actually change the people that actually when they implement it, and what kind of changes they actually make to them. So this is what we want to see in the future.
Okay, excellent. So
One more. That's why we are also targeting corporates and businesses, because they are what we feel the drivers of SDG. Because if they start implementing SDG in their company, they affect everyone in their company. So if they have like 30 people in their company, all the 30 people get to see and feel what SDG is.
Yeah. And not only about the people that working in the company, also the customers. Yeah, the customers, for example, like when we go to a coffee shop, but the coffee shop, everything is regarding recyclable thing. Everything is regarding recyclable. So how do you feel as a consumer in the shop? So definitely it's something there. Yeah. So this is what we want to drive the SDG goals into the society. So this is also one of the reasons that why we targeted on the SMEs.
yeah, now that's very aspirational, and definitely is going to bring some positive impact to the community for no doubt, with no doubt. Okay, so is there any other advice you would like to give to other young event professionals like you out there?
Don't be afraid to try. Yeah, I believe that nowadays a lot of people, the young people out there, they have a lot of very innovative minds. They have a lot of ideas in doing something, but they just lack of some, how we call it, they just lack of some experience, and they're scared of like fail. So I think don't be afraid. Just if you have something in your mind, you can always do it. Or you can always reach out to JCI. We will always help you.
And also the platform is already there. BE Sarawak is already, they have all their application and everything online. They can just search online and then they see the guideline and try to apply. One thing is they need to apply through an association, but once they get that thing settled, they can easily run an event that can leave behind impact. And for someone like 20 plus years old, you're also really wanting to see you making some impact in the world. You know, like people look down on you and people are like, oh, you guys are so small.
Definitely, when organizing an event, people you will be one of the the shine the shine points during the event, because in JCI practice, like all the OC, we have to go out to the stage to have a speech, so everyone will know, oh, you are the organizer of these people. For this event. So in order to make a remarkable event, of course the event has to be very successful. Okay, not very successful but at least have to leave some impact to the people, and also leave some legacies. So don't be afraid on doing this, and always find a solutions. Especially we as a Sarawakian, we have a very good support from our local government. So this is our opportunities. We have to grab it.
And I also assume you, as a business young event professionals, we can't be afraid of making mistakes.
Yes.
So what are the some mistakes that perhaps you have
Well, we
come
actually
across?
did a lot of mistakes since the last event we actually have a JCI maybe anniversary 60th anniversary. So yeah, my one of the mistake that I actually encountered during the last event is how we didn't do a proper planning. Okay. Yeah, we didn't do a proper planning like how who is going to in charge of this, and the organizing committee is not very sure about what should they do. So everything like plans very last minute. So after the experience, and then I'll go to the next event, which is the SDG Summit. Then I this time I really plan quite. Not very good lah, but actually
More
better than
comprehensively.
more comprehensively, and but also better than last time lah. So at least all of the committee members they know their hands job, okay, and they actually can process it very good without me, okay. So yeah, but this is the experience that you have to go on to one event first, and then to gain the experience, to make mistake, and then to gain, and then to learn, and then you can go for next event, and then you'll be very experienced already. Yeah, so this is my advice lah.
Yeah, I feel like if you haven't run any events before, don't start with the big ones. You start with smaller ones, but the concept is the same. So the planning, and then like marketing, getting tickets, getting sponsors. The sponsors the steps are the same, but it's magnified.
Yes, and also like when we talk about events, so what the main concern is what is the event about, the objective of the event, and also the who is the participants. So who is your target audience is also very important. So you have to narrow down like who is your targeting participants for this event, so you can have a very clear mind on doing things already. Yeah. So as an OC, your perspectives have to be very firm, and also you have to guide your members, especially in like, for example, like handling all the problems, and also all the, like when we talk about people and people, like it's a relations kinds of situations. So of course maybe some members they will have some arguments on when we deciding on something, so they might have some negotiations. So as an OC, you also have to go and settle this kind of dispute. One of the things that I would like to emphasize is during about the claim process. I think like most of people, they want to really know about how is the claim process. Although I'm not starting to claim yet, but because I know there's actually two solutions. One is you actually pay first and then reimburse, and another thing one is you can directly bill to the creditor. Okay, for example, the corporates or companies. But because since our JCI we are NGO, so we don't have really much of fund, but just now I mentioned that this project actually costs around 200,000, right? So where should I get the fund in order to support the event first, in order to reimburse? So yes, you basically you have to let your creditors know that this one is actually funded by the government, and we have to directly bill to them. Yeah, so this one also one of the tips that you have to really calm your vendors and everything, so that they know that the fund is from the government directly to them, or else you have to pay first and then claim. So unless you do have other sponsorship or collaborations with other parties lah, in order to support the event through the route, because now we actually have we need to pay a lot of deposit, for example like venue deposit, and also some people that actually request 50% of deposit before we proceed with the things. So this is this is the problems that we actually encounter lah. So for those people that if you want to get the sponsorship for the BE, this is also one of the knowledge that I would like to share with you guys. Yes.
Okay.
I think having a 20% of the total budget as your starting capital would be a wise decision to have.
Yes.
If you have 40,000 out of the 200,000,
Yeah, so you definitely have to have certain kind of amount first lah, in order to support. So another suggestion is you can actually find other sponsorship, the smaller one, as a collaboration partner first. Yeah, in order to like support your all the
To get the startup.
to get the startup to support all the procedures that you're going to encounter during the event. Yes.
Okay. Oh, good. So I trust what two of you have shared with us today are really beneficial for our audience. So there's a few important takeaways that I could take from this interview. So if I may summarize. So first of all, business event, definitely it is booming. So there is lots and lots of opportunity. Don't be afraid to pursue this industry. And you got to be planning early if you are thinking about hosting your own event, and you got to be prepared for rain even when it's shiny. And then you need to check out the potential government support, because like what we have here in Sarawak, we've got lots of support from organizations like BE Sarawak, so they could help out in this regard. And we also need to be clear with who our target audience are when we are deciding on the event format. Okay, so as well as when we are planning for the marketing. So like in your event, your target audience are mostly Miriams as well as people who are residing in our neighboring countries. So it makes a lot of sense for you to host a physical event, a face-to-face one. And then it is also important for us to plan for legacies. Don't only think about how to make the event a success, but also how can we actually leave a lasting legacy in the impact. And don't be afraid to make mistake, of course. So before we conclude, perhaps two of you can do a shout out to everyone, to the audience for your event.
Yes, definitely. First of all, please follow our Facebook page. Can we put the link here? Our Facebook page link here. Yes, please follow our Facebook, like and share. Okay, and then don't and also remember our SDG summit is on 18 and 19 March at Coco Cabana. So this is the very first festive kind of conference plus exhibitions. So also if you are a museum person, you can go in, because we're going to have a lot of arts installations there as well. And also if you want to have a connection, then you definitely have to come also, because we have a lot of stakeholders from different industry. They were going to attend to our events. So then definitely you can connect with a lot of people. So please, I'll see you there.
Like what she said.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much for joining us today. So see you the next time. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.